Hey guys, Moose here. We are back with another episode of Stonehearth in our Rayya's Children playthrough. And not totally sure, I'm probably just going to build more duplexes so I can keep demolishing this stuff. I like our kind of housing complex area. Do I care? I don't think I care about Bright Bell seeds. I probably already have them, and even if I don't, I don't give a shit. We got plenty going on as it is. Let's take a look at our chef. Well, let's see. Right, we got a newbie. That was a while ago. Oh, trader. Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't really want these anymore. We don't need them. Don't know if I need windows. I'm guessing I probably don't. Get rid of those. Get rid of all this. And a bunch of these. Just as much junk you don't really need. Okay, and our tin's not going to sell. That's fine. We're going to summon someone to take the tin off our hands because we just sold all the copper, so. And then the bronze as well, and I think that's probably the main thing we care about. I know I could be using bronze to kind of very slowly level up armor. Or mechanic, not armor. Why am I thinking armor? Invaders. Are we dealing with them? Yes, we are. Okay. I'm not trusting. Okay, so we're short on net worth too. That's a good sign. What I want to do is check out our chef, who's not doing anything. That's a problem. So we have a lot of vegetables, so we're gonna do a lot of vegetable stuff. And then probably make flour as well. 200 divided by 3 is 66, roughly. So I'll do 50, I guess, because we don't really need wheat for anything else, so we might as well, right? Military's doing its thing? Yeah, okay. I just work, because sometimes you gotta manage it, sometimes you just kind of let them do their thing, and there's no issue. I prefer letting them do their thing, because I'm not really playing this game for the combat, but I've bitched enough about that recently, and I got a good tip on how to better manage my military, possibly solving the issue that I'm having in the Ascendancy playthrough, so I'm going to try that in the next episode. Not really having that issue here, so it's not as relevant, but definitely something that I'm going to be looking into. The issue we're having here more has to do with our normal individuals as opposed to our military. So it's a little bit of a different challenge. Yeah, that's fine. It's very deliberate that we don't have that anymore. What about silver and gold? No? We're dry? Alright, do we want to go mining then? Maybe we want to cut down a few trees here. I think we just did this, but it seems like they have things they're not done with yet. No, they're done. They're just, you know, little things they gotta finish. Okay, cool. So that's good. Just gotta put the door in on that one, I think, and then they're good to go. Okay, good. That way. I was gonna say, I don't think that scout's hat was already looted, so I was gonna have to designate it. So the next few months are gonna be kind of tough for me, but I think once I move in at the end of February, going into March, things are gonna be looking up. Because right now, I'm like, work has been far, far worse than normal this week. And that's, you know, I've talked about that in my videos, and I'm like, actually, this is probably the closest I've ever been to having a nervous breakdown. I don't think I'm that close to having one, but there's, like, I tried to play Overwatch and I nearly punched a monitor. And I'm not... probably watching my videos, I don't come off as a guy who loses his temper like that much, but sometimes things get under my skin and I really start having trouble with it. I think that I'm on an incredibly short fuse right now because of everything going on at work, so and I really got to be careful at work too, because I could say something that's going to get me in trouble here if I'm not careful, because if I start saying, hey, that was a massive waste of my time, my bosses are fucking stupid, then, you know, I'm gonna get called into someone's office and we're gonna have a problem. So I'm trying to avoid doing that, but it's difficult to bite your tongue in that situation sometimes, as I'm sure some of you can empathize on that. Do I want to sell anything else? I think I probably have some stuff worth selling here. That one... I just sell the ore as well if I can. I don't know where... There it is. But yeah, so there's that, and then also, so moving out, it's like normally stressful, right? But I'm not that worried about it if it's just me. But now the landlord is like, oh yeah, we want to have strangers come into your house 4 times, once a week, in every week in February to look at the house. So not only do you have to do all this work to get it presentable, but you're going to be paying rent and basically living in a showroom where every single week you have to be available and be here to deal with this bullshit. And I'm like, the landlord has not been bad, I would say, but she's kind of been like politely doing things that benefit her and only her. Like politely, not, I wouldn't say taking advantage of me, but kind of like, oh, well, you want to go month to month, then you have to give us 60 days notice before you leave, which is kind of like, okay, that's kind of a dick thing to request, but okay, fine. And like little things like that, and like rent has not exactly been stable. It's been skyrocketing, which is a big reason, one of several reasons why I'm moving out. Then there's also been issues with it. And instead, when we had a mouse problem, no exterminator, no nothing, she just had family relatives come over and like literally do nothing other than put plaster on the wall. And it's just kind of like, look, if you're doing things a certain way like this, I'm not really that interested in going way the hell out of my way to make things easier for you. So I'm probably going to say there's no way in hell you're going to have strangers in my home while I'm paying for it 4 times once a week for all of February. You know, that's just not acceptable. You can do it once or twice in the entire month, and that's it. End of conversation. I'm not gonna tolerate that shit. So that's a major source of stress that I have to figure out right now. As well as all the usual, like, you know, I clean, right? But there's a different level of cleaning when you're going to move out to make sure you get your deposit and everything. So there's a whole bunch of stress that goes into that. Figure, like, where the hell am I going to find the time to get that done? Then there's, I'm, like, closing on purchasing a house outside of the area as, like, a rental property to rent out. And that's, like... You might think like, oh, you're gonna, yeah, you got bonus income, that's great, you know, your life is much easier for rent now. It's like, well, no, all that money just goes towards the frickin' mortgage, so I'm not actually making anything in the short term. So, you know, it's the right thing to do, but it's not exactly profit, I guess I would say. So that's stressful because there's all the, you know, there's all this paperwork and like, all right, are they gonna accept the offer? Are we gonna have to come back and pay more? We already had to do that once. We'll see if we have to do it again. You know, going back and forth has its own level of stress associated with it. And, you know, it's just, there's so many things piling up. The one nice thing is the channel's doing pretty well. Things are generally going a lot quicker than they were. You know, this is something that people commonly say, like your first 100 is way slower than your second 100, you know. Or another way of saying that you would actually hear it said that makes much more sense is the second 100 is much faster than the first 100, and that's definitely true so far. It's been like a month and I'm already like a third of the way to 200 here. So that's nice, but you know, doesn't really resolve all the other issues. So I really gotta focus and get all that done. So I'm hoping... Sometimes, you know, when you're in this situation like that and you're stressed out and you've got a lot of things that you need to do, sometimes you just kind of go beast mode for a while, and you just, because you never stop being productive, so you just knock things out back to back to back to back. I'd like to do that, but I don't know if I can handle it mentally right now with how, like, the work situation clearly cracked me. It was like the Overwatch thing I was talking about before. I'm definitely having an issue here. So I gotta figure out how to kind of reset, calm down, and get back to where I need to be so that I can do that and start really just knocking things out in a methodical manner. Because if I enjoy that, I don't necessarily need to spend that much time playing video games on my free time, you know? That can be this, you know? I don't have to play 3 hours of Overwatch or something and like, oh, I'm almost level 100, you know? I can focus on making videos or, you know, working on developing that game, and that can be my productive time. Or that can be my relaxation time. If I can get into that mode that I was talking about where I just go nuts and I'm just, you know, focusing on being productive for a long period of time. And that may be necessary, so I don't know. We'll see. Did I really already clear? Wow, I do not remember. I thought I'd cleared this area out, like this big of an area out in the other playthrough, which I'm pretty sure I did because we're waiting to fill it in, or not fill it in, but move all the crap that's in it. It's like completely full, but this one, I have no memory of emptying that big of an area. I'm surprised by that. How are we doing on clay? A little worried about finishing that off. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. This is pretty reasonable. More than enough healing herbs that we don't really need. Oh, you know what? I should take a look at my weaver. I've been meaning to do that for a couple episodes, but I keep getting sidetracked. How are we doing? Upgraded worker outfit. Okay, so I'd kind of like to get some more cloth, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 10 of these. That'll leave me with 80 cloth, which I'll just do 20 cloth and that's fine. And then from there we'll do another 50 thread, and that'll get that done. And then how much leather do we have? We have plenty of leather. We don't need more leather. In fact, I should just start selling all my skins. I don't think there's any reason to hold on to those. But yeah. Okay, let's retry that sentence. Because by the time I need them, I'm going to have more anyway. So if I ever even do. Oh, I'm hitting sell. I thought I was hitting sell all. That's my bad. You know, free up some inventory space. Maybe that improves the processing speed of the game. Every little bit counts, you know, so. Yeah, get rid of those. Don't need scout hats. Seem to get a lot of those, so no big deal. Yeah, I think we're good. I don't think we really need to worry about much else. Let's just... Clay is like no problem. I might make some more bricks here. How about wood? 94. Okay, wood is a little bit low. But we have plenty. Like, we can get more, no problem. So we'll just, you know, be patient. Don't need to worry about that. Let's make like another 75 clay bricks. We probably don't need it, but, you know, if we're continuing to build duplexes, we are going to need it, so. Okay, so this is kind of where I start to have some fears, because I don't know... The problem is, getting rid of all this crap is going to leave holes in the ground. And that's going to cause issues. But if I can just demolish everything and do a crafting area... Is this really... I only put 2 beds in these, right? Okay. So we're going to need a lot of these, but that's a good thing. Because that'll... One, it looks, you know, it's nicer than this shit. But it's also kind of cool. Or it's kind of beneficial from a value standpoint to have all that. No, I'm good. Don't need to... I mean, maybe a giant bone mace would be nice for the... If we have any fight... Like, is it fighter or warrior? Let's take a look. Footman. Footman, knight, archer, cleric. Okay. Footmen, like if we have a couple footmen, I don't really see any reason to, because I feel like either you want them to be better at defense and then you'd have a knight, or you want them to be better at offense and then you'd have an archer. Sweet, that's our chef, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's moving along quite quickly. Alright. So how many do we queue up? We got 27, 23, so 50, so 25 bread. Might as well just make it, right? There's no reason to wait. And then that's going to be about 60 more used, so we'll have 100 left, so I'll do another 20. Just keep them working. I don't want to let them go idle here, because this definitely impacts our food score, so we want to keep it chugging along here. I'm surprised we have so few golden gourds. Are we using up preferentially on the vegetable stew tagine, or tagine, or tagaine? I don't know what you'd call this. I think we do another 50 here. It'll use up most of our vegetables, but I think the score's higher, so that's fine. We're not really, it's not an issue of people having things to eat, really. No one's starving by any stretch, it's more just the score. So, that's what really matters. I really don't, I wish they'd be more consistent about planting. Okay, we're only short on net worth and we're only short by like 1,000, so it's not bad at all. We're definitely getting there. It looks like this house is complete. Very nice. So, what's the next step? I think we probably want to worry about crafting area. And I have no clue where to put that. Because I don't, like, there's good things about this, but there's bad things about this too. I don't totally like everything about it. So, I think I know. Let's see. I'm going to have 6 things outside because I'm going to have mason, potter, forge. So if I do one building with all the crafting in it except for the chef and what was the other one? That's not what I wanted. Weaver. Chef and weaver can be over here because it's off of plant material. That's fine. So we're going to have engineer, herbalist, potter, blacksmith, mason, carpenter. So 1, 2, 3. So everything but 2. So that's 6. Okay. Where's the invaders? All right, perfect. No problem. Kill the wolves. Move on to the archers. Standard, very standard work. So do we build out here? Do I want to build out here? I'm not sure I do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this a bit because I don't know where I want to expand here. Because my fear about putting it over here is now we're gonna have even more issues with people actually doing their job. And they're gonna be, you know, since they gravitate towards this side, or at least they used to. Now I think it's better now, but they used to really want to spend their time over here. Which led to stuff on this side not really necessarily getting done in a timely manner, and that's frustrating, so... yeah, I don't know. Well, first things first, I want to gain access to this. And then they can, yeah, okay. That's all we need. Oh, they already have access from this side, okay. Well, why bother with a ladder? You can just... this is fine. That's way easier, you can just come up this way. I could have done it, you know, just do it here. It's way easier this way. And they can kind of move around as needed. We don't need the ladder anymore. Get the wood out of that. What I'm thinking about doing is flattening this area later, and then using that to expand south. Maybe I want to do that now, because what'll happen is then I can build the crafting stuff here, and that's a little bit more in line with where I want to be, probably. Yeah, you know what? I think that's the right move here. I definitely think that's the right move. So let's get the ball rolling on that. Curious what's going to happen with those plants here. I think we probably just relocate these. I don't really care about the silkweed, but the pears are like a nice emergency / supplemental source of food, so I'll preserve those for now. They're handy. I don't know why I bother. I could just kill them or delete them basically, but for some reason I want to hold on to them. These though, you can... where'd they put that? Here? No. Here. Here. Okay. Yeah. Just delete them. I don't care. They're unneeded. Alright, so that's going to take some time, but this is a good... this is the right thing to do, I think, anyway. It'll buy us a little bit more space. It does get rid of our choke point a little, but that's not really that big of a deal. We're not in a place where that matters, frankly. Choke point is not necessary at all for us anymore. It might make things very slightly easier, but our military is fine here, and they're right over here anyway, so if we're gonna get attacked near the castle, we got it covered. It's no big deal. But that is going to have to do it for this episode, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us for the next one as well. Take care.